Hello everybody, this is KPlayer9 and I am playing Buried. Now I tried to do a live stream of this just a few minutes ago and that sucked. Didn't work. So we're gonna have to do it offline and I have to post it. No, life sucks. Okay, we're gonna continue. Last time we found this man who held us at gunpoint named Marcus. We followed him into an elevator down to this floor where he ran into this room and we followed him in here. Now, let's continue. We follow Marcus into what I can only describe as a control room of some sorts. There are countless computer screens which are obviously coming back from having been shut off. Everything looks extremely complicated, from screens filled with code and data to what obviously is a security system. It reminds me of a miniaturized version of the operating center in just about every space travel movie I've ever seen. Marcus is running from one screen to another, apparently looking for some permanent bit of information. "Where's the first aid kit?" I snap at him. Marcus stops in his tracks, as if he'd forgotten the whole reason for bringing us down here. "Oh yeah," rushing to the left side of the room. "Here," hunkers down and opens the panel on the wall, what I assume can be an emergency vault where he got the rifle. Look at the computer monitors or peer into the vault. Look at the monitors. I can make sense of very little that I see. Mostly numbers, odd-looking maps, and charts. Altogether, they show what I assume is the working, beating heart of a peculiar facility Dennis and I have stumbled into. Aside from charts, there are scrolling numbers running along the bottom of the screen. There are temperature readings, but that's all I can tell for sure. I see one screen in particular that I assume is bad news for anyone using these monitors for work. Failure. Trial 142B aborted. Error 4532-5. Danger. Abnormality detected. Marcus finally puts out the first aid kit and turns around. When I look back to motion Dennis over, he's paler than ever. "Come on," I tell him, but he's not moving from place on the floor. He sits against the wall. I slide the first kit over to him and go scrambling to his side. Between the struggle for the rifle upstairs and arriving in this room, he's fading fast. I struggle to lift his shirt up then over his shoulders as the dry blood holds it in place. The mere act causes him to grimace. "This might hurt a little," I tell Dennis. He only nods, doesn't seem to care. Gently. Ripping it off quickly could really injure him. I'm gonna do it gently. I lift the shirt off gently and it makes a sucking sound like there's so much blood that the moisture tries to keep the shirt pulled onto him. Dennis lets out a little moan, but seems to relax in spite of his injuries. With the shirt fully removed, the extent of his injuries become more clear. His wound is more visible now, although it's partially hidden by the blood that started to clot around it. My medical knowledge is slim, basically a bunch of basics I learned in Boy Scouts. I look over to Marcus, hopefully, and ask, "You have any training?" "Zero," he says. "Sorry." It's just as well, I guess. He's too far concerned with what's happening on the monitors to be much help anyway. I start taking out several rolls of gauze within the kit and wipe as much blood as I can away from the wound on the side. It's even worse than I figured from the start. The gash is deep and dark. I'm pretty sure it's infected too. He's going to need stitches, that's for sure, but I have no idea how to start that. Besides, I don't see the tools in the kit. When I splash rubbing alcohol over the wound, he responds in a hoarse yelp of surprise, but nothing more. His eyes locked onto me and he looks appreciative, but he's also scared. Be honest. How bad does it look? You think I'll live? We gotta reassure him. We make him panic, he may lose more blood by the blood pumping faster through his heart. He'll be fine. No problem. Good to know, because I sure don't feel like that. You've been through hell, I say. I think it feels worse than it actually looks. Thanks, that's a relief. I won't lie. You're going to have a scar, I say, trying to be funny. He chuckles for a bit, but there's no humor in it. He rests his head against the wall and closes his eyes when I finish up. I place one layer of gauze against the wound and bind it with medical tape. I then reinforce it with a second layer. I know it's meager, but it's all I can do. Thanks, Roger, he says. Actually, managing to force out a smile, I feel a whole lot better. I think I'll be fine. I'm not so sure about that, but I'm glad that I was able to encourage him. I look back to Marcus and he's holding back at us, deep in thought. My eye is starting to really swell up from where he kicked me earlier. Maybe I shouldn't have let him off so easy. Are these first aid kits all you have in the facility? If there's something better, I don't know about it, he says. I notice that his defensive posture is no longer there. Something is different now. Just a slight change to his demeanor. He's seen something on those monitors that has him frightened, more than he already was before. What is it? I ask. What's wrong? His eyes travel around the room, and he's obviously trying to decide whether or not to tell the truth. I'm gonna get up and look at those monitors, dang it. Rather than wait for him, I get to this and scan the screen, seeing if I can find any clues that I missed a moment ago. After a few moments, I see a few things that I can comprehend hidden in the complex information on most of the screens. On one screen, I see what looks like a power meter that is slowly climbing upwards. A single message is flashing beneath it. It reads, "Unexpected power failure, foreign entity." Another message trickling along the bottom of the black screen says, "Safety locks on level 3, doors engaged. Override?" I see scenes on a few other screens that I assume are security cameras showing hallways and passages from elsewhere in the facility. One shows them the first level hallway we were on for just a few minutes ago. Another shows a hallway I don't recognize. The floor is covered in blood. From just off the screen I see what might be a human body, but it's bent in an impossible way. It looks like the legs and the torso somehow merged or melted onto the floor. What's happened to that person? I have no idea. I didn't see it. Whatever happened to that guy must have happened in the last minute or so. What the hell? I ask. There's something still happening? Are we still in danger? He turns away, clearly fearing that he's already said too much. As bad as that is, there's a scene in another monitor that makes my blood go cold, despite the fear of the level of terror. The scene is almost familiar. It's the logging site. The equipment is unmistakably mine. I could even see my truck. Something like fury starts to rise up in my guts, momentarily pushing aside the fear. For a moment I considered just tearing into him. A few punches and shove against the wall, nothing more. I want answers, and I want them now, but I'm not sure which would provide more answers, asking calmly or kicking his ass. I'm gonna ask him calmly, because I am a good person. Can you please explain why you were spying on my crew? My anger is prodding at me, and I hold it back again. It's near the surface, demanding a release. It was part of my job, mine and a few others. Your crew is being watched ever since you set up your equipment. Why? Because you're working with heavy equipment, some of which digs into the ground less than a mile from our secret government facility. I had no idea of that. How could I have known? Marcus gives me that same crooked, trembling smile that creeps me out. Because those things would draw attention to this place. And you have no idea how secretive this facility is. Besides, I know that the higher-ups looked into it. Your site isn't on government land. It's shy about 300 yards. Every piece of your equipment is on private property. The timber track you purchased from Mr. Gladys 2 months ago. So if we wanted to intervene to keep your crew away, we couldn't without stirring up a fuss. The fact that someone with such a low level clearance knows much about my logging crew is unnerving. If you've been watching us, why didn't you recognize us when we were in the hallway? He shakes his head and exhales, like it's obvious. The cameras have a bird's eye view. I can't see faces, we just track bodies and names. Since you have all the surveillance, where's the rest of my crew? I do my best to keep my voice level, even though the impulse is to shout. Well, all of you were on site as usual before the incident. It had been a few hours since I checked it, though. They might have come near the facility, or maybe not. I don't know. He says this casually, like it's not important. Well, are they inside the facility? You have cameras everywhere, right? Do you see them? Marcus shakes his head. I've been looking all over and haven't seen your crew. They aren't here. But the lower levels don't have any cameras. Classified. I'm not sure they would have gotten there, but it's a possibility. I'm still shocked that we're being watched. Do they know everything about us? I'm telling you, the depths of this facility goes deep. There are 36 employees down here. Outside those employees, only 5 other knows this physics. If I don't get this out, I am not going to have a good time. He hasn't even paused to consider if he should go any further. He actually laughs when he gives me the answers. I honestly don't know. Probably very little. But what I do know is it's more than Black Ops. What does that mean? There are scientists here who have disowned by their own governments because of the nature of their work. Do you get it now? I don't. Not at all, but I don't want him to know that. You said there are 36 employees? Where are they now? He shakes his head. As far as I know, everyone else is gone. Gone where? He points to the screen and still informs us of the unexpected power failure and cringes. But if the power failure was not corrected in time, there's no telling. But they're here in the facility somewhere, right? Hoping someone would be able to help Dennis better than I can. I just don't know. They could be anywhere. Look. I say, furious with the way he's talking in riddles. I don't. Oh God. I look over to him. He's as pale as a ghost. He stood up and his eyes were locked on the monitor closest to him. What? He simply points to the monitor and looks away. I look at the monitor, see at the logging site, but more specifically, I see the overturned dozer with a leg sticking out from underneath it. Wearing work boots, right where I left him. Tony. The fact of the death seems almost abstract, almost like it happened in another world, very long time ago. I know you already told me he was gone, but it's different actually seeing him. My God. Suddenly something blazes by the door open outside. The shape is fast as in a shadow, but I'm pretty sure it's a person. Someone is out there, wheeling around. He sounds pretty happy to discover this. I try and follow his lead. If something bad happened at the facility, then surely the sight of another survivor is a good thing, right? We should check it out. I realize this isn't the best moment to leave Dennis. After revisiting Tony's death all over again, someone just ran by the door, I told him. Hopefully this someone can save us. Are you going to be okay? It's fine. Go see who it is. Giving me a mock thumbs up. I turned to Marcus and motioned for us to head out to investigate. Let's be careful. Depending on who it is, they might not hesitate to shoot a stranger as I was. I nodded him and headed for the door, still holding the rifle in my hand, and I don't know if I have the guts to actually use it if needed. With a final look back at Dennis, I run out to the second level hallway. Marcus follows. There is still fear in his eyes, but the slightest glimmer of hope. The hope is contagious. We take off after the figure that just ran by the command center. Ahead of us, the facility presents yet another long hallway. Right away, I noticed that the level of the facility seems darker, although the lights are all now on. The hallway is adorned by a number of yellow doorways and a large white panel on the wall. It's clean and well manufactured, but there's something obnoxious about it. Up ahead, I see the fleeting motion of something dark cutting into the left down to the corridor. Then, there, I say quietly, pointing up ahead. Marcus gives me a nod, and we continue chasing after the person we saw blazed by the command center just a few moments ago. It then occurs to me that this person might be, like Marcus at first, armed and scared. Shout at him! We're the yelling idiots! Hey, stop! Who's there? I get no response, and I'm unsure if I should be relieved or upset about this. The last person we met nearly killed us with a rifle. Why would this person be any different? I quickly dart around the corner and take the same shooting stance I've seen countless times on TV. There's a woman standing there about 10 feet away. She has a reddish blonde hair and a small, mousy build. She looks terrified and is visibly shaking. She's probably in her late 30s, wearing a lab coat with dark jeans and green Converse low tops. I have a strange sense that her fear is not just about our sudden appearance. She looks like a woman that's been running scared for a while now. Her hands raised in surrender, she's now holding a weapon. Marcus slowly approaches, taking a few steps ahead of me. It's Amy, right? She blinks, seemingly surprised that he knows her name. Yes. And you're Mark? Marcus. She nods absently and then looks to my rifle. I'm not going to use it. And how do I know that? You're trespassing on government property in the midst of a huge catastrophic event, and you have a rifle. How am I supposed to believe you? I have a friend back in the command center who needs medical attention, and we're looking for the rest of our crew. I'm really sorry, but I don't know where they are. Do you know what's happened here from the power outage? I don't know what caused it, but there was an experiment taking place when the outage occurred. Something happened and she trails off, giving me a look in distress. I saw things on the security monitors. Experiment failed, didn't it? I don't know the specifics. I barely escaped the third floor. I was going to the command center to see if security footage showed anything, but when I saw you had the gun. Listening to their conversation, I feel quite in the dark. What has her scared? Emily looks at me, her eyes widen and terrified. Who are you anyway? I quickly give her my story. A logger stranded in the woods following a particular explosion at the site. As I tell her, recognition blooms in her eyes. You're one of the loggers? Yes. She looks to Marcus and says, I thought they were being watched. They were. This was a freak accident, and there's no proof that they were responsible. I feel myself wanting to submit to all the questions that are piling up in my head, but Dennis is waiting for me. Ask for medical. We need Dennis help. I decide, but despite my curiosity, I need to get Dennis help as soon as humanely as possible. Look, is there any medical help to be had here or not? Probably, but you have to find Colonel Barksdale. He knows where all sorts of supplies are. And where is he? Where is everyone else? At this, Amy starts to weep. She falls to her knees and as if somebody struck her from behind. Gone. Some were killed, and some were just, I don't know. It disappeared right in front of me. What the hell is going on here? Something's here with us. We're conducting an experiment and all went horribly wrong. Something came through. Came through? What? I don't know as much. An entity, whatever it is, it's here somewhere. How could you not know? Don't you have full security access, I asked? No, I have access to almost everything, but there are 2 levels beyond my security clearance. What do you suggest we do now? I'm not sure, wiping her tears, but if you want to find your crew, we need to find Barksdale, and he's in charge. Where is he? Down on the 3rd level in the hangar. Then let's go. It's not that easy, Amy says, looking at the rifle in my hands. Why not? Like I said, something came through the power out. There's several of them, all roaming the 3rd level. What? All I know is the others refer to them as entities. Amy shudders as it recalls the horror she has seen. I don't know how to describe them. I didn't get a good look. All I did was run for my life. Behind me I heard screams. I don't know. It's not very scientific of me, but I didn't feel like sticking around to learn more. She's right. Stopping my train of thought. The things I saw on the monitors, it was crazy. This is insane. I'm going to the 3rd level to find this Barksdale guy. Thanks for your help. Wait. I'm sticking with you. If we want to get out of here, we gotta find Barksdale, right? Yes. But Barksdale's on the 3rd floor and it's too dangerous to go back there. I figure I'll let them make their own decisions. In the meantime, I start heading back to the command center and get Dennis. Before I get there, I hear footfalls behind me getting closer. I give Amy a questioning look as she looks away, clearly torn. Neither of you know your way around here, she says. Looking for Barksdale on your own will be suicide. Like it or not, she has a point. Fine, I say. Then let's get Dennis from the command center and we'll head down together. My god. Ooh. Nice. We enter the command center. I'm happy to see that Dennis has regained some of his color. We're going to get some help. We're going to get you some help, I tell him. And then find our crew, and get the hell out of here. More help would be great, he says. With the way you took an hour to get my shirt off earlier, I'm not letting you touch me again. Wait, maybe one of us should stay here with him. I'll be okay. He stands to his feet with a grunt. You don't know what's out there. I saw them. I know what they can do. This facility is not safe. What can they do? Never mind, she says. You just need to be more careful. Marcus looks a little hesitant and he nods in agreement, and the 4 of us exit the command center. Heading back into the hallway, I look back at the monitors. I take a final look at the screen and it shows my wrecked logging site, and I feel pain and sorrow. I look at the other monitors showing live feeds to the facility's security cameras. I try and tell myself I'm not looking for any sign of Amy's creatures, but I can't. That's exactly what I'm doing. There's no need to pretend otherwise. We head back through the hall and towards the elevator. The tension exists between us like a physical presence. Ooh. Oh, down the elevator we go. Woohoo. We step inside the elevator and those pristine doors close. Inside the elevator, Amy seems much more guarded and distant from us. I want to assure her that I mean her no harm, but I'm not going to put the rifle down. So you have pretty high clearance at this place, right? I ask her. That's right. So what kind of experiments are we talking about? What went wrong? When she starts to answer my question, I can tell that it is something of relief to her to get it off of her chest. There's been a lot of work of this project taking place over the last 3 years or so. The purpose is to find out if there's any real viable science beyond point-to-point installation. Like teleporting, I say? Oh my god, I had no idea. I knew there was some weird stuff here, but nothing like this insane. It's not really all that insane. We found our first major breakthrough 9 months ago. We were able to transport a live rat from its cage to level 3 to a small rat in New Mexico. The trip took the rat 5 seconds. Are you kidding me? I can tell he wants to sound as he's mocking the idea, but it fails. He's scared. Not at all. The problem was when the rat arrived. Its retinas were detached and its intestines were outside of the body. Did you perfect it? Well, about 6 months ago, we successfully made that same experiment. The rat arrived in great health, and at this time in just 3 seconds. Still, one of the things we need to tweak in order to make the process completely safe is to figure out how to keep the subject on straight course. When the matter is being transported, not only are the atoms being unknit and then put back together at the arrival. I'll just do unknit. Yes, deconstruct and translate it through space. It's the only way we know how to do it right now. But the issue, as I said, comes in keeping the deconstruction progress on a straight course in its destination. When the process occurs, we are deforming space-time. We are creating a shortcut through space, and that has risks. Why, exactly? Because there are many more dimensions in the space, the 3 we exist on, she explains. There is some evidence to say there are as many as 10. So when you send a rat to New Mexico, it's traveling through another dimension to get there, basically. And because of that, we are trying to get a better understanding of what those other dimensions are capable of. Things that a great deal of population would be scared about if they knew we were doing. Hence, all the privacy. Then today, the power went out, and as we were right in the middle of an experiment, something happened. What? I don't know. She's speaking with the authority of someone that who knows what she's talking about. What have you seen in these dimensions? Other worlds, other tag-mark universes where the laws of nature don't apply, she says, not bothering to explain what that all means. I'm not cleared for such things, but I do get reports. What reports? I'm given access to results of the test. In other words, you guys have been peeking into other dimensions and taking notes of what you see? I can't believe I'm wasting my life for this, he mutters to himself. He looks like he's starting to freak out. Amy is quiet. Her expression indicates that she's waiting to see how I react to all this. That's incredible. So this is like interdimensional stuff. In a way, Marcus, on the other hand, is incredulous. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't want anything to do with this, he says. All this time I've been working hard for. He laughs cruelly at the sound and makes my blood go cold for a moment. Just a single level beneath my feet, you assholes have been tearing apart space and time. The elevator doors open. I can't get out fast enough. The tension is growing way too thick for my liking. Outside the elevator, we step into what appears to be a massive industrial area. The carnage waiting for us is unlike anything I've ever seen on the upper levels. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's a lot of blood. The area looks industrial, like everything was built for... Oh, God. For utility only. But there are more noticeable than all the blood. My God. I have never seen so much blood. Those creatures must have had a field day. Holy shit, Marcus says. Looked like a man who just woke up from a very bad dream. There were more personnel in this area when the experiment went haywire, as if the explanation makes it all better. The research you all do down here had better be worth it, I say. We're gonna keep moving, or we're gonna lose our nerve. Amy, let's focus. Barksdale's in the hangar, I ask. If he's still alive, yes, that's where he'd be. Well then let's hurry. As far as I can tell, Dennis is doing much better, but I'm getting to grow tired of I'm growing tired of trying to keep my fear at bay. Between the blood on the floor and the silence of level 3, Amy's talk to the lab rats, I'm getting freaked out. I'm going first, dang it. 4 of us start working ahead, with me in the lead. When we stop, we come to the remains of what looks like 3 different people. It's hard to tell how many bodies there were because they're all been torn to shreds and are distorted. 2 of the bodies look like they have been fused together. Another man had his leg welded through the floor. I can see the man's face. He died in an abject state of horror, his mouth pried open with an eternal scream. Keep going. Keep going. It's simply too much. Worse than that, the fact that I've just started a journey through level 3. If there are worse waitings up ahead, I don't want to be able to make it. I'm going to be able to make it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. Dennis steps up beside me and then he speaks. His voice is soft and flat. What the hell could do that to someone? The things I saw, they could do it pretty easily, I think. She looks pale and I think she might pass out any moment. Tears spill from her eyes and she's visibly shaking. She soldiers on, looking back to me, stepping to the side of one of the gruesome carnages. Her eyes again to my rifle. She doesn't look very hopeful. You good to go? She asked me. We need to move on, but for some reason I can't take my eyes off the scene. My mind is reeling, trying to process it all. Yeah, let's go. We gotta go. There may be things anywhere. We leave the grisly sight behind, moving into another equally destroyed area. From what I can tell, the next room was once an open area for experimentation. The place hasn't just been destroyed, it's been physically altered in a way that makes no sense. The grinders look to have been warped and the very materials distorted and twisted. To my right, a machine has been catapulted to look somehow merged with the wall rather than crashing into it. Beyond these phenomena, there is a standard violence I was expecting to see. There was a limp arm sticking out from underneath the wreckage, and more blood. I see no signs of the explosion, but makes me wonder what happened. How this happened. Seeing the aftermath is sickening, though. It makes me wonder if Amy saw it while it was happening. Why would I ask this? No, I'm not gonna ask that. That's a freaking annoying. I'm gonna ask what happened to this. I don't want to make her pass out. I only caught a glimpse of it. I was trying to focus my eye on something that was too close. It started twisting, not creaking or breaking, like those creatures were able to deform the matter. She pauses here. That's when we heard something echo through this facility. It comes from behind us to the right. I'm not sure it was. It makes my blood feel cold, like ice. The sound is almost like static from an AM radio, but there's a high-pitched noise beneath it that I can't even start to fathom. What the hell is that? I asked, instantly clapping my hands to my ears. What of them? Her voice is a whisper. What are those creatures? That's what they sound like? I see that he's leaning against the wall again, wincing at the noise. I suddenly realize I have a death grip on my rifle, ready to shoot the next thing I see. How far do you think they are? They're basically the same question. About 100 meters, not far. Everybody seems to see the clue to start. Everyone seems to take this as a cue to start moving again. We make our way around the office wreckage, now with a purpose in our step. We barely make it to the other side of the room, approaching the dark hallway when another high-pitched noise starts out. This one's louder, closer. We all share a terrified look, and I can tell that Amy is on the verge of losing it. I grip my rifle tightly as we head toward the hallway in front of us. How much farther to the hangar? Close, she says. It's at the end of this hallway. Dennis speaks up. His voice is like ice. Why don't we just haul ass then, huh? No one says anything after that. I can feel the presence of terror around us, pressing like some new violent gravity. My God! Oh! Blood! Everywhere. Small utility hallway is well lit. It looks like it was designed not only to be used by selected maintenance workers. Only to be used. Not bad. What goes on this area? I asked. I'm looking at Marcus and I asked a question, but he only shrugs in response. She might know, he replies. I've never been down here before. It's just a utility hallway. Oh, I've never been down here before. It's just a utility hallway, but at the end of the maintenance room there should be a gun or two in there. It's also the most direct path to the hangar entrance. So, as we walk quickly and quietly down the hall, I take a glimpse ahead and feel the hair on my back of my neck stand on end. The lights have become more sparsely spaced and it's impossible to see just how far the hall extends into darkness. This hallway has occasional trace of bloodshed, but nothing like the main area we come from. We continue farther down just as I've begun to see what it looks like a large metal door further up ahead. I hear another shrill sound. This one is farther away, but no less demonic. How many of these things did you see? Dennis asked Amy. 3, but that's just what I saw. There could be more. What did they look like? Yeah, what are we dealing with? I don't even know how to explain them. Monsters, that's the only word I can think of. My mind seems to struggle at just trying to understand what I was seeing. They're big and they seem to jerk around every few feet or so. They look like they've been made of light. That's about it. That's about all I know for sure. You know, my ex-husband always said, I let my work kill me, she continues, seeming unable to stop herself. I mean, I doubt he imagined this exact scenario, but still. As we make our way down to the hangar doors, another high-pitched noise rings out. Angrier now. Amy stops walking, causing all of us to stop and turn to her. We have to do something to slow this thing down, she says. No, there is no time. We need to distance ourselves and get to the hangar fast. Amy ignores him. In deep thoughts, there's an old hydraulic door set into the wall right here. It hasn't been used in 4 years. It hasn't been used for years. She looks at me, pleading her case. Together we might be able to pull it close behind us. Keep those things back. Those old hydraulic doors weigh a ton. There's no way it'll work. Roger, Amy says. What do you think? They'll have a harder time getting to us if these doors are locked. Look, Marcus shouts, turning to me. We need to get to the hangar. Now! Stop and close the doors first. Damn it. We don't have time for this. Amy ignores him and starts feeling along the hallway for a groove. Dennis and I start looking as well. A minute passes. Then we see a small metal frame that runs from the floor to the ceiling. Yes! Amy says. I look to the floor and see an old metal track that runs along the frame. Let's move it, I say. Amy, Dennis, and I start pulling at it as hard as we can, but it barely budges an inch. Behind us, those static noises ring out again. My heart seems to shudder at Marcus. Shudder, and Marcus lets out a little whine. We're running out of time. We need to go. Those things are getting closer every second. Help us, Marcus. It won't make a difference anyway. Shut up and help us and we'll find out, I shout. Reluctantly, Marcus walks over and grasps the door. We all groan and strain to pull. It starts inching slowly, and then it begins moving steadily. Once we get it started, it slides easily. As we near the wall, closing up the hallway behind us, I think I see the merest glimpse of an odd illuminating shape in the darkness. It's cut off by a slight thump of a hydraulic door being pushed against the frame. The frame in the opposite wall. Amy turns the lock in place. Great, now let's haul ass, says Marcus. We all turn and moving, still feeling unsure about our prospects. The fact that yet another shrill noise sounds out somewhere in the facility is not calming. And then there were 2 of them. It's almost like they were calling out to one another. The doors of the hangar sit up like an entrance to some enormous labyrinth. Ooh, that got blood on it. When we reach the hangar doors, I get a true sense of how impenetrable they are. A computer terminal is mounted on the wall nearby, a blinking red light. Any idea what this means, I ask? It's automatic lock, a fail-safe from the lockdown, she says. I've never been down here before, Marcus says. If I had known this door was here, I would have opened it earlier. How? Queried. Her voice is more present than earlier. From the command center. You need to override it from there first. Use this terminal in the hangar doors. The command center on the 2nd floor, I ask. Yeah. Amy shakes her head with a let's not nervous laugh. Are you kidding me? We just pulled the hydraulic doors that blocked off the hallway, remember? We want to get in the hangar, we have to go back to the command center. Isn't there another way? Turning to Marcus, Amy replies, well, there is another elevator, but we need to go through the biochem storage. I need to stay with Dennis so he can rest. 2 of you go. You know your way around this place. And you know the controls, Marcus. Fine, Marcus said, but we need to be armed. Oh, God. Okay. I don't really trust freaking Marcus. But Amy is terrified and shooken up. She won't use a gun correctly. Marcus already has training. He obviously can do it. I'm regretting this already. God dang it. I hand Marcus the rifle and he turns to go. Amy gives me a concerned look but follows along behind him. Once Amy and Marcus make a good distance in the hallway, Dennis lets out a nervous laugh. Then there were two, he says. Dennis looks much better, but he still needs to use the wall to stay standing. Didn't Amy say there were guns in the emergency kits in the maintenance room near the hangar doors, I asked? Yeah, I think so. He looks exhausted. I look ahead to see the door at the right that reads maintenance. Might as well give it a try. I go to the door, try to open it. It's locked. Now I have a bad knee, I think I remember. So we gotta push it with my shoulder. I give it a hard shove, it doesn't budge. Try again. That's when I hear a dry choking sound from just down the hallway. Very audible, but it's not my imagination. My first thought is one of those things with monsters, but after calming my nerves and reassessing, it sounds more like a person. I think more how angry and on edge Amy was when she turned to leave, and just how scared Marcus had looked. Alarm bells sound in my head, and before I know it, I'm heading back in the hall away from the hangar doors. Stay here, I'll be right back, I whisper over to my shoulder to Dennis. See if you can figure out how to get in the maintenance room. Where are you going? I don't bother answering his questions as I bound through the door Amy and Marcus went. Ew. As I enter the biochem room and start walking between massive silos, I wonder what classified chemicals could be inside them. I am fully expecting one of the Amy's creatures to come flying out from the intersection of halls up ahead. I think I hear something, a skittering noise, something moving quickly. I run ahead as fast as I can. I can see two people in a life or death struggle. My mind tries to process what I am seeing, but it makes no sense, none at all. Marcus is on the floor with Amy pinned down beneath him. He has a rifle at her throat and is pushing it down to the floor, choking her with it. Her face is turning purple, and I can see her eyes look like they might pop out of her head. Marcus sees me coming out of the hallway. He acts like it's perfectly normal. Stop it, him! Dang it! I start rushing toward him before I really know what I'm doing. I bring my fist down hard, arc across the bridge of his nose, rewarded with a sick crackling sound. He cries out as he falls to hit the ground, looking at me like he doesn't understand why I'm punching him. On the floor, Amy clutches her neck and grasps for breath. I start to fear that a moment I was too late and to see the rifle has been thrown across the floor. Marcus sees and knows that the same. I'm freaking hitting Marcus! Dang it! Strong blow with my right hand, clipping his chin with my awkward position. I am in the process of flanking a knee at his chest, and I hold him down with the left when his left foot comes out. Kid catches me squarely in the ribs, knocking the breath out of me. What the hell are you doing? He yells at me. By killing her, I'm saving all of us. All this was her fault. I sense that he truly believes this, but if that's the case, he'll shoot her rather than strangle with a rifle. The answer is simple. We would have heard the gunshot, or those things, would have come running. He wanted to kill her quietly. And then what? Would he have done the same to Dennis and me? It seems fitting, really. When we first came upon Marcus, he held a gun to us. But I'm so relieved to see another human that had underestimated how unhinged he was to me. Marcus and I both dive for the rifle, still laying on the floor, start wrestling for possession, but I'm not confident I'll come away with it. As he struggles, he starts inching the muzzle toward my face. God, no! I'm reading ahead for some reason. I struggle inching the muzzle toward my face. I a position I don't want to be in. I start pushing back. But this thing accidentally fires. I'm not sure where I'd prefer the bullet to go, especially in a room full of chemical tanks. God dang it! Not the tanks. Not the tanks. I grunt as I push the muzzle toward his face. Realizing he is literally looking down the barrel of a gun, Marcus ducks his head out of the way. This makes him lose his leverage, allowing me to yank the gun out of his grip. I get to my feet as quickly as I can, swinging the rifle back at him. For a moment, I think I've knocked him out. His eyes flutter and he looks at me like I've betrayed him. Her people. It was them that did this to us. She deserves to die. She did this. I look at Amy and I wish I could help her. I'm relieved to see she is managing to draw in a few breaths. Her legs move as she tried to push herself into a sitting position. You wouldn't know. You didn't work here under their secrecy. You don't know what it's like to. He surprises me by lunging toward me, leaping out for a human projectile. I don't have time to aim carefully. I have to react fast. Time to dodge, dang it. His aim is poor. His strength is failing, but I dodge him easily. I don't want to have a gunshot go on and alert those creatures to where we are. I make a hard jab of the butt of the rifle, striking him in his chest. Something crunches and he's left out a whoosh of air. He crumbles for a moment and then goes to his knee. He roars in pain on the floor. Only after a few moments I realize they're not purely screams of pain. The bastard's calling for them, calling for those creatures to come to us. This place is evil, along with everyone involved. He wails on the floor. If you're taking her side, then you deserve to die too. If you want to stop me, you better do it now, you coward. The rage in his eyes at Amy. Well, the act is toward me for stopping him. Make me think that he'll deliver on his threat. I raise the rifle again, every urge in my body wanting to make sure he doesn't come back to bite us. But I'm not a violent man. I could easily not kill him and just leave him behind. I'm letting him live. I know it's not the right thing to do, but just like that, just like when I could barely shoot earlier, as he was coming at me, I can't bring myself to deliver the kill shot. I ignore him and lean down to Amy. Are you okay? She nods slowly. Have to go. They'll be here any minute. Too much noise. I have to hold her arm so she can get to her feet. We start forward and I think of Dennis. We should go back to the hangar doors, but I can't just leave Dennis there. There's no time. You need to come with me to the command center now. We'll be back for him soon. We're all dead anyway. If they don't get you, I will. He laughs maniacally after saying this. Hoots like a madman. As if in response, a high-pitched noise tears through the hallway. I seem to feel it in my bones. They're following his noise now. Her voice is still weak. She takes off away from Marcus, presumably toward the other elevator she had mentioned moments ago. I follow her. As we move out, I hear Marcus slowly push himself off the ground and stumble off, slipping between tanks and disappearing. We start running after the first few strides, and another noise sounds out. It sounds mechanical, but at the same time it also reminds me of the recordings I heard of whale songs. It sounds like metallic creaking and crashing echoes through the door I came through. They've reached the hydraulic door we pulled, Amy says, confirming what I'm thinking. The sound grows louder as they are struggling with it, which is good. We have a bit more time. I speed my step to follow Amy as she leads to the other elevator. She's panting furiously, but pushes on. I can hear something rattling in her breath, like the result of Marcus' attack. It makes me imagine how his cold, uncaring eyes must have looked, staring down at her as she tried to deliver her death. How she is still forging on is beyond me. I'm sorry about Marcus, I say. It's not your fault. When you handed him the gun, you didn't know he would use it on me. We just hope we'll find a way to survive this mess. We'll be fine, don't worry. I'm not sure. Her eyes fixed straight ahead. I'm not sure if I can blame her. I just wanted to say something encouraging, I guess. We finally come to the elevator at the end of the row of silence. The elevator door slides open at the moment we hear something behind us. A strange sort of whistling sound. We step inside and turn the face of the biochem room. Thankfully, we've been getting a few moments to spare. The elevator doors remain open for 3 seconds before they slide closed again. In those 3 seconds, I see a large shape floating towards us. A phosphorescent, like white glowing outlines of impossible shape. Behind it, I see another shape, and that's also entered the biochem room, and another. The third one breaks away from the other two. Taking a quick right, it moves with an eerie speed. That's the direction Marcus had gone. Honestly, the thought of them hunting him down doesn't bother me the slightest. Amy is pressing the button with the elevator to close doors over and over, but they stay open for what seems like an eternity. I curse whoever designed these damn doors. Stand in the doorway to shoot. We can't go anywhere, I figure, so there's no use in hiding. I take a step and stand firm in the elevator doorway. I hold the rifle steady, ready to fire. That's when I see them in a clear light for the first time. I see their features, their shape and their colors, but my mind can't quite process it at all. Nothing about them makes any sense. My eyes were trying to see like a squid, but that's not what these things are. They're pretty white and seem nothing more than squirming light. Their appendages are neither legs nor tentacles, but somewhere in between. They don't walk on their appendages, but use them to glide. They move like ghosts and seem to jerk every few feet or so. But I'm pretty sure that this jerking effect is not a result of them moving, but my mind's inability to understand how they're moving exactly. It's more than their appearance that makes a mockery of reality. The light around them, it seems to be bent inwards, as if space within the room has to reshape itself for their existence. Whether particular effect on the air, it makes their movements seem like something is moving underwater. Something moving underwater, only faster. They screech in unison as they rush toward the elevator. They'll be inside here in another few seconds. I check my rifle and see my ammo's diminishing. I haven't used it. I have to start saving my shots. I have to be choosy. No! You decided to shoot the creatures. Yeah! Now about every foot remains between the slide doors. I find my muscles reacting instantly again. I pull the trigger. The shot fills the air, and there's a thunder in my ears. I hit the thing in the center, and the reaction is not what I expected. The monster pauses and spasms for about 2 seconds. Its body of light flickers for a moment, similar to a light bulb on the brink of burning out. My finger keeps pulling the trigger. The throb of the rifle in my hands is comforting, and each screech from the creature is like music. But when I realize it only seems to be slowing him down, its tentacle seems to tighten and then loosen, like a weird muscle reflex. But then it's on the move again, unalarmed by the shots. Finally, the elevator door closes. The creature washed against the other side of the door, making an electrical noise, crying out in anger. The tips of the spider-like appendages poke through the wall and the wall of the elevator door, but for some reason they can't get all the way through. Amy screams at this and curls up in the ball of the corner of the elevator, crying. I say nothing to her. I just cling onto my rifle, hoping these creatures don't find Dennis as he waits in the hangar door where I left him. For his sake and ours, we need to get them open now. End of chapter 3. Took forever to record. I am so sorry. I recorded like half of it like a month ago. The blunt truth. You and 59 players told Dennis he'd probably be fine. Slowing them down. Whoa! God dang it. Oh God. Okay. Okay. Hour later. You and 32. Dang it! How many of those people actually lived is what I need to know. I'm not going back to figure this out. I'm doing one playthrough and that's it. That is the end of Chapter 3. Chapter 4 will be coming soon. I will be doing another Tattletale one soon. It's, the game data reset on me, which was annoying when I opened it up to do another Let's Play, so I have to play through that again to get up to there. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!